Poker's not dead. Regardless of what people say, poker's still alive and doing well. The cream rises to the top. If you want to be one of the top, you definitely can. It requires a lot of focus, dedication, and just getting after it. And I promise you this, it'll prepare you for a business to come. Here are the 5 ways that playing poker professionally prepared me for business. Now, I know in the thumbnail I say 5 ways, but I'm gonna give you 7, and here's the reason why. 1, I'm gonna save the best 2 for last, the bonus 2. And 2, I could really go all day about this subject because you just take one thing and it translates to another. And because I played poker for 10 years professionally, it gave me a solid understanding about this one aspect in life. Number 1, the all-in mentality. Poker professionals find themselves all in all the time, but that's not what I'm referring to here. I'm referring to the mentality of going all in with your lifestyle. People who play poker professionally understand this, that when they go to play poker for a living, they're abandoning the 9-to-5 jobs. If you play poker professionally for 5 years and you try to go back to the real world, now your resume is gonna be hurt. Think about that after a decade. Those who are serious about playing poker professionally understand this, and they're fully committed. That means when they dive into this realm, they're diving into it completely. Treat your business the same way. This isn't something that you're trying out. This is something that you're dedicated to. You're dedicated to the success. You're gonna see it all the way through. You're jumping in now, not knowing everything, but you understand as you grow, you're gonna get better as time goes along, and you're fully bought in. Burn the bridge, no turning back. The second that I learned about was bankroll management. Now this is major key, and there's a lot of very successful poker players who never understand this and never get this down. They end up riding this wave of going major success to bankrupt. And the reason for it is they just can't stop spending their money. They can't not have the nicest things, the new watches, the sexy cars. They can't stay out of the pits. And I've even had some friends go bust over the strip clubs themselves. I know that's crazy, but there's a true story around that. It's just mind-blowing to me that someone would be willing to risk their freedom over a strip club. In business, you gotta protect your money. Your money is your asset. And if you're going out buying a new car as soon as your business starts taking off, what happens when the funds start going down? What happens when COVID happens? People end up going bust. Bankroll management is huge. It's so large. I actually shot a video about this topic alone. You can see that by going to this video right here. Number 3, be willing to bet on myself. Before I started playing poker for a living, I was in the military, and they told me everything to do. They told me when to wake up. They told me when to go to bed. They told me what to eat, when to eat. They even told me who to hang out with, who to be around. When I got out of the military and started playing poker professionally, I learned to bet on me, to not look to others to make my decisions. I was willing to decide how much my time was worth. I was willing to decide what time I was gonna wake up, when I was gonna grind, what time I was gonna go to bed, when I was gonna study. I was willing to bet on me to make my life happen and make my dreams happen. I stopped looking to others. This one was major key. Number 4, immersion. Now, this one often isn't talked about, and it should be, because it's very, very, very important. You want to immerse yourself in the culture that's going to give you the best chance for success. This was obvious to me. So the first thing that I did was look to find other poker pros to live with. And I found 2 other poker pros, talked them into living and getting a house together. And what this did was we were able to bounce ideas off one another. We were able to see things from each other's perspective. We were able to pick each other's brains. They were complete different players than I was. One was more loose aggressive than me, and the other was super tight and tight aggressive, meaning he had a tight selection on what hands he would play. And the other guy was all over the place. I was more of a hybrid, but it was great getting their perspective. People who took the game very serious, who studied, who were dedicated to their crafts. And as a result, we all got on this upward spiral together. Our hourly wage increased by living together because we were able to feed off each other's knowledge and knowledge bank. Not to mention, we push each other to get better every day. And number 5, dedication and craft. I kind of touched bases on this on the last topic. People think poker is this game and just all sunshine and rainbows. What they don't realize is it's a lot of hard work. And for the people who are dedicated to making it their lifestyle, they understand you gotta invest in yourself. You gotta invest in your mind and your knowledge. That means money out of your pocket. You invest in the tools, the resources that are out there, books, the different courses. It was just books for me at this time frame. The courses weren't out at the time, but I was, fully bought in to my success, and I was willing to invest my own money and time to cultivate that craft. The second is like discipline. You gotta have a lot of discipline on poker. And I'm not just talking about discipline to get up and get to work every day. And by the way, yes, it's work. People think it's just a game, it's fun. For people who are doing it for a living, sometimes you don't wanna go in. It's kind of like the gym in that aspect. Who wants to go to the gym? Not too many people, but once you're there, you enjoy it. Well, playing poker was no different. Sometimes I had to drag myself into work. Most days I had to drag myself into work, but I was dedicated to getting there. That dedication then transferred over in other areas, because just because you're dedicated to getting to work and play hours and dedicated to your craft and learning it after hours doesn't guarantee success, because you might go broke in the process. You gotta be dedicated to walk by the blackjack tables, to walk by the pits, to not be caught up by all the women half-dressed serving cocktails. You gotta be focused on your craft, you gotta be focused on work, which means your discipline level is, I believe, it's gotta be higher than the average person who just goes into work, because they're not bombarded with all the stimulus that you are in a casino. When I started my own business, this discipline transferred over. And because I had a decade time frame of a solid discipline and routine, when I started my own business, it just transferred over and made things so much easier. You gotta be willing to dedicate yourself to the craft completely. And as promised, the 2 bonus. The first of which is when to work and when to take off. When you own your own business, or you're an investor, maybe a screenplay writer, things of this nature, you don't have to work all the time, but there's times that you should be working a lot. What I realized in poker is, if I just got out of a breakup and I tried to go in and play, my mind was messed up. I wasn't fully there. And as a result, I would end up losing money. Or maybe not losing money, but leaving money on the table that I could have definitely got if I was more focused. Time and time again, I would see this pattern play out. Or if I was like really sick, or running bad, because run bad happens in poker. You can play great and yet still end up losing. And you can have like a week of this. These were the times I figured would be best to take off. And I realized that not everyone does this. Poker players alike don't always do this. A lot of times they try and play through the downswing. I believe the best time to take off is in the downswing. You've worked really hard, you bankrolled up. Now's the time to enjoy the fruits of your hard labor. Now's the time to take that vacation. Now is the time to actually spend a little bit of money, not during the upswings. And that goes right to the next point. When you end up working a lot is when things are going really well for you. Double down when you're running good. Double down when your business is killing it. Get after it 10x in these time frames. And what this does is your brain is just firing on all cylinders. When everything's going great, you're not scared. You're making decisions out of confidence instead of fear. And you end up making better decisions as a result. So when things are going good, this is not the time to take the foot off the gas pedal. Throttle down, keep after it during this time frame. Don't let off the gas. And when things are going bad, now you have the opportunity to enjoy the fruits of your labor. All right, I lied. There's one extra bonus because it just came to me right now while shooting. And that is your personality matters. I read a book, Personality Plus, prior to playing poker, and what it taught me 4 quadrants of personalities. Now, Myers-Briggs is like 16, but I learned the DISC method, and I realized that the D's played a certain way. I was an I-type personality. I played a certain way. C's and S's, like we all have a certain style. And if I could understand the way the other person thought, I could understand their playing style. More importantly, I learned the tables that I dominated at. And that was when I was a table captain. Because I'm an I-type personality, because I'm people-oriented, extroverted. It was just natural that when I was the table captain, when I was pushing around the table, my hourly wage would increase. Now I could adapt to any game, but why adapt when I could choose the games that were gonna pay me the most money, and as a result, I would have the most fun with? No, I would just table select. So I leveraged to the areas that my personality shined with, and then would choose not to play in the games where it didn't. This also translated in business. My personality type, I'm not organized. So I don't look to organize my business. Rather, my wife does that. My wife is my opposite personality type. She's naturally organized. You could imagine what kind of a mess it would be if I try to organize my business myself. So I don't do that. I'm the visionary. I'm the one that's always talking about the dreams, where we're going, the future of our business. I'm the one that dissects the competition and understands what they do and reverse engineer how we can do it better. But the organization, I leave towards the experts who are naturally able to do that through their personality. And that's not me. Poker taught me this, and this spilled over my business and was a huge result to our success today. You've been waiting for it, the last one, and that is customer experience. When I really became a poker pro, I really got it. This was about 3 years after being a poker pro. I understood it was my duty and obligation to create an environment at the table that the whales want to be a part of. Now, you're saying, what's whales? Whales are individuals who come to the casino for different reasons than a lot of others to make money. They're just coming there to blow off steam. Maybe they have a couple businesses, they're stressed out throughout the day, and they just enjoy the game itself. What I wasn't gonna do was have my headphones on and not talk or berate them for their bad play. No, it was my duty and obligation to enjoy this experience with them, to provide an experience that they wanted to continue to come back to. These guys would know that I played poker professionally. They would know that I did it for a living. And yet they would come to my table knowing that they're gonna give me money down the long run, give me action. But because I was able to create this fun environment, if you will, then it was keeping that customer base coming back. There's also something that I did. I would dig at the other pros or recreational players who thought they were good, that would be the headphone wearers or the ones that would berate the bad player. I would dig under their skin and dig under their skin and dig under their skin. It would do two things. One, it would make them play a certain way against me where they always had it because they didn't want to get caught bluffing. And the second is they would end up just leaving our table, which was good because if they're a winning player, we don't really want them there anyways. And two, we want to create this fun environment that the whales keep coming back to. How this translated in my business, I realized when people bought products, they're not just buying the products, they're buying the experience. How quickly does the product arrive? How does it arrive? This is major key. The shipping and handling of the product itself. Does it come in brand labeled bags? Does it have a thank you card? And this is when I really got in my business, is I understood the power of leveraging our audience. We have over 1 million followers on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, and over our numerous channels. And the girls that wanted to buy our products also wanted to leverage our audience. So we start posting their pictures into our store. So we understood that we could make their buying experience better by leveraging our audience and posting their pictures so they could get more likes on their Instagram following. Not only did this make them super happy, what do you think it did for our retention rate? It made it go a lot higher. And for most dropshippers, they have a horrible retention rate. Once we started changing this over, once I brought back the mindset that I learned from poker, that it's about the customer experience, our retention rate started skyrocketing. The takeaways here is poker, you're all in with your own life. You're all in with yourself being the sole proprietor in your business. Sure, you're still trading dollars for hours in this scenario, but it teaches you more about business than I believe college ever could. So if you're wondering where to start, poker's not dead. Regardless of what people say, poker's still alive and doing well. The cream rises to the top. If you want to be one of the top, you definitely can. It requires a lot of focus, dedication, and just getting after it. And I promise you this, it'll prepare you for a business to come. If you like what you've seen here on the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so when I drop other videos like this, you'll be one of the first ones to know. And as always, much love and see you next time.